Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gay today. And we're going to have some fun today. We are local here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and here with Steve Libby with the Gay Journal. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Matt?
Fantastic. No, it's great to have you here. I moved out here from New York, almost 2 years ago now, and have loved learning about some of the stuff that the anchor that you are here in the LGBT community here in this area.
Well, I moved here in 1990
Okay.
and became involved with mostly, I guess, with Liz Bradbury and Trish Sullivan,
Yeah.
and they were doing some, LGBT community stuff with different groups that they had, PA Gala and so on before they opened the Bradbury Sullivan Center years ago,
Yeah.
and just started volunteering for them. And whenever they had an event, I would go out, get people to sign petitions, all this other stuff, and then slowly got into going back to school myself, got a master's degree in social work, and put that to work by creating the first LGBT youth group in the area.
Oh, okay.
Did 4 documentaries as student projects about the LGBT population, one about transgender, one about HIV and AIDS. And then did my first publication, which was Gaydar magazine, that lasted for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got a social work job for 15 years doing hospice. And about 5 years ago, I decided to start another magazine called The Gay Journal.
Yeah.
And this is our latest issue.
Yep.
And you were featured in an issue about a year or so ago, Matt. And so thank you for doing that interview. And so there's so many people in the Lehigh Valley that have worked tirelessly, endlessly, especially HIV/AIDS. I'm thinking of FACT, Fighting AIDS Continuously Together, that group of people that have been working for 30, 40 years now, I guess. And the same with Liz and Trish, Adrian Shanker. There's so many people in the Lehigh Valley that have just, uh, seen a vision through,
Yeah. Yeah.
like even in the really challenging times that we were living in a few years ago with before, marriage equality and all of that.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't think everybody even realizes the Lehigh Valley area. It's only 2 hours from New York. It's
Yep.
about an hour and a half from Philadelphia. So it's very well situated and it's very populated, but people are more spread out, which I like. But there's just a lot going on here. There's a lot in terms of, like you said, with the Bradbury Sullivan LGBT Center, and there's no LGBT chamber here, but the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce has an entire diversity and inclusion division, for lack of a better word, with an LGBT component to it as well. And it's a lot of people that participate in that.
Oh yeah, that's correct. And they do their yearly summit. They do a yearly awards banquet that includes awards for LGBT Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year. They do a prom, LGBT prom that they help sponsor. And
Yeah.
I don't want to, I'm not part of, aside from being a member of it, I'm not part of the board. So I don't want to get in over my head here and quote too many things I'm not positive of. But yeah, they're um, a huge group in the Valley and are very supportive of many different things with many different fundraisers throughout the year. They have an LGBTQ scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's refreshing and it's nice. And but especially with the one thing that it does, there were a small handful of gay bars here in the area, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's just one now. That's
I believe just the Stonewall Moose Lounge
Yeah.
is what is left. Yeah, when I
And
moved here in the 90, when I moved here in 90, there was one called Jeff's Pub, which
yeah.
was over on City Line between Bethlehem and Allentown. There was one called Rosemary's that was here before I moved here and it closed before I moved here. Then Jeff's City Line closed down. Diamonds opened like almost right next door to where Jeff's was. Candida's was at the corner of 12th and Chew for 40-ish years.
Wow.
And the Stonewall's been around since I want to say 70, 71.
Yeah. But a lot of this is must have over the last year must have impacted you a lot, being a central part of gay media in the Valley. but that because it's the closures between the bars, the restaurants being closed. Pride Festival, I understand, for most local publications is a huge revenue draw for all the companies and advertisers that want to be a part of that. But I take it this has probably impacted you in a similar fashion.
It has. So we're working on, this is issue number 24, and we did not print a summer issue last year because of the pandemic and how it hit everyone. So instead, I turned it back around and offered free advertising for people on our website, for any of the businesses, especially nonprofits, but also any business.
Yeah.
And then when we came to do the fall issue, I did send out an email and just said, if anyone has money, if you guys are interested, we'll try to do another print issue.
Yeah.
It came back that there were enough advertisers to do that, and there have been since. So we've gone back to doing that, but also in the last year, a couple more times, I've reminded people that we'll do the free banners on the website if they feel that they need that. Sure.
Yeah. I'm sure that's earned you a good amount of goodwill for that, because that's what folks needed during that time.
Yeah, I hope. They've all been so supportive. Really, everyone, gay-owned businesses, straight-owned businesses, across the board have been very supportive of the magazine. Some people, some businesses don't advertise every issue, but they do if it's their season or when they have the money. And I don't know. I think we distribute. The goal with the magazine, I guess I should say, is that we, try to promote the Lehigh Valley as a vacation destination, relocation destination, which well. And and like you said, it's close to New York, it's close to Philly without actually being in New York and Philly. If you don't like the craziness of the traffic or whatever, you can commute, you can work from home. We're finding more and more. And not that far away from DC. So yeah, we're located really well. And if you want to go the other way, and see the countryside, so you go out to Lancaster, you go out that area.
Yeah. I'm still floored when I see the horse and buggy on the side of the road. That still makes me stop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, it's probably good that you do.
Yeah. Stop physically and stop. My mind's like, I can't believe this is what I'm seeing.
Right, exactly.
But no, it's what's even funny. Not funny. It's just more interesting. It's just that Pennsylvania since November has very much been on the map of our entire nation, but especially in our LGBT world with all the craziness that went on with the political situation with Pennsylvania, Michigan, and then Georgia. But then in addition, now just yesterday or the day before, Dr. Rachel Levine from Pennsylvania, she is now part of the Biden team.
Yeah, isn't that's super fantastic?
It is. It's a first in many different. It touches a lot of firsts in what she's been able to accomplish. So
it's true. Yeah, she is. She kept her cool throughout everything. When people were criticizing her policies, when people were criticizing her being transgender, I don't know how else to say that. Throughout the whole thing, she just kept her cool. She's the epitome of class and professionalism. We had the good fortune, thanks to Adrian Shanker, to be able to interview her a couple of issues ago, and just a lovely person. And kudos to her. Kudos to the Biden administration for selecting her. Just absolutely wonderful.
I think that was well deserved. And then we have Brian Sims out of Philadelphia, who's been a very vocal, openly gay man in the world of Pennsylvania politics, and he's running for lieutenant governor now. So
exactly.
We shall see. He's got the personality for it, so we'll see how that works.
He certainly does. Yeah, we like Brian a lot.
But there's a lot going on here, and so that's where I'm just looking forward to. The last time I think I saw you was at one of your holiday parties that you had in Bethlehem for Christmas 2019.
Yes, so just a few months before shutdown.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to when we're going to be able to connect in the real world again.
Yeah, me too. We have a group of people that have been playing kickball on Sunday mornings for a couple of years, and immediately followed by brunch. I think brunch is probably the more popular part of that because we'll have people that will maybe skip kickball, but all of a sudden they're available for brunch, whatever. That's fine. We have some people that show up as cheerleaders. People bring snacks. People, I don't know. So it's a fun time. And then, like you said, we try to do with the launch of every issue of the magazine, we try to do some kind of a party. And with the party that you're talking about, that was also a fundraiser actually for the LGBT component of the business council
Yeah.
for their scholarship fund.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we try to do that as well for different groups in the Lehigh Valley, especially the nonprofits. And I'm thinking about like FACT, the Gay Men's Chorus, all these places have been also that have been affected by, we've all been affected by the pandemic, but all these nonprofits that, still are trying to pay the bills, all their people are volunteers, no one gets a salary, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. Well, I look forward to not only seeing you, but hopefully we'll even be able to have a Pride Festival this year like we did 2 years ago as well. So we shall see on that as well.
Yeah, that will be amazing. And
Yeah.
and I think I threatened to have you go to a karaoke party and maybe sing a song or two for a fundraiser. And what's your go-to?
Yeah, well, I have the microphone for it.
Exactly, which is great. So my suggestion is, if we still have to do Zoom, how about if we move it up to like about 7 o'clock on a Friday night? And then we'll get like Brian Sims, Rachel Levine, Jonathan Lovitz, and some other people to join us and Adrian Shanker to
Yeah.
do some karaoke.
You've never you say that now, but you've never heard me sing yet. So you may change your tune afterward.
That was a good pun.
Thank you.
That was really good.
What a day. So this is, if anybody doesn't know, it's Friday and it feels like it. So this is a perfect time for us to get together. So
well, Matt, thank you.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you for promoting the Lehigh Valley. I think you and Pink Media have been very important in helping, keep interest in the Lehigh Valley and the things that are going on here, and promoting those outside interests back into the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, we even have a Twitter profile. We'll promote this from ILoveGay Lehigh Valley, and we've connected some with it's fun to get a retweet and an interest from like the Pocono newspapers and the local newspapers here, the Morning Call and so forth. So it's all coming together.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad. I'm glad since that initial interview a year and a half ago that you're finding success here. And your husband was originally from here, so this was more like a homecoming for him, right?
Yeah. He's born in Jersey, so he's a Jersey boy, but he kind of grew up in Pennsylvania, and so and his family's here. We moved back here to be closer to his family and still be close to New York, and now we have Philly to add to the mix. So it's been a good move.
Excellent.
Well, thanks again for everything, and like I said, look forward to connecting again.
Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Take care, Dan.
Bye.